The jurisdiction of the ICC over crimes, specifically crimes committed by PRRD. Isn't that so?
Can you rephrase your question, ma'am?
Well, you said that while the ICC has no jurisdiction over the Philippines as a state, it maintains jurisdiction over individuals and crimes under
Yes,
the
ma'am.
international humanitarian order.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. What the president said is that there is no jurisdiction over the crimes committed by the former president
Well,
because we have a functioning police and judiciary system. Unless you submit that we don't,
submit that we don't what, ma'am?
that we don't have a functioning police force.
We have a functioning
or
police
a
force.
Judiciary.
We have a judiciary. But what we are dealing with here
You're
is crimes
contradicting your
committed
president,
14 years
Secretary.
ago to 2019. We're talking about a timeline, Your Honor, that we were not even here yet, and that it was very hard.
To the jurisdiction of the ICC over crimes, specifically crimes committed by PRRD. Isn't that so?
Can you rephrase your question, ma'am?
Well, you said that while the ICC has no jurisdiction over the Philippines as a state, it maintains jurisdiction over individuals and crimes under
Yes,
the
ma'am.
international humanitarian order.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. What the president said is that there is no jurisdiction over the crimes committed by the former president
Well,
because we have a functioning police and judiciary system. Unless you submit that we don't,
submit that we don't what, ma'am?
that we don't have a functioning police force.
We have a functioning
or
police
a
force.
Judiciary.
We have a judiciary. But what we are dealing with here
You're
is crimes
contradicting your
committed
president,
14 years
Secretary.
ago to 2019. We're talking about a timeline, Your Honor, that we were not even here yet, and that it was very hard.
Ibig sabihin, hindi yung kidnapping or yung
Hindi
extraordinary
po kidnapping. Wala hong
rendition.
nangyaring kidnapping, ma'am.
Pero may extradition, bakit
Hindi, meron ho
in-extradite?
dalawang option yan eh.
Ang haba ng
Ang
proseso.
international humanitarian law gives us two
walang,
options.
Walang nakasulat
There are
dito.
two options under international humanitarian law.
I'm just
The first
talking
option is
about the
extradition.
diffusion,
No, I have
Secretary.
to explain the law, ma'am. The international humanitarian law gives us two options: extradition or surrender. And we chose the surrender path, ma'am, not extradition.
So despite the myriad and ironclad commitments to Interpol, hindi tayo sumunod dito sa hinihingi
Hindi ho
nila.
sila familiar sa system
Ang
natin eh.
hinihingi nila, extradition, hindi surrender. Di po
Hindi-
ba? Ang liwanag eh.
Hindi, yan po
Papawin
ay
natin
kanilang
kung
sinasabi
tira ka.
kasi yan pa ang customary law sa maraming bansa na extradition.
Kanina sinabi mo,
Hindi, kaya
kapag
nga eh,
customary
yun
law, yung procedural at administrative, hindi din
Hindi,
lahat
pero
ng
yun nga ho
yun.
eh. Hindi nila alam yung ating batas eh. Hindi ho nila
correct,
alam na
correct.
meron tayong Republic Act 9851 na nagsasabi pwede extradition o pwede surrender.
Teka,
Ang
ha?
pinili po namin executive action po, surrender po.
Tapusin muna natin yung sentence kasi meron pang karugtong. Extradition will be sought upon arrest of the person in conformity with national laws. Susunod tayo sa 9851.
Yes, you know, sinunod dyan, 9851.
O, sige.
And hindi extradition ang aming ginamit, kundi surrender.
Eka, meron tayong iko-konsulta, Attorney Alexis Medina.
Enzo Recto, kalaban ang katiwalian at kasinungalingan, kakampi sa katotohanan at kabutihan.
Okay. On the 18th of February, the President said, my position has not changed. I have stated it often, even before I took office as President, that there are many questions about ICC's jurisdiction and that we here in the Philippines regard as an intrusion into our internal matters and a threat to our sovereignty. Does the DFA agree with this statement? And do we abide by this position until today? Anyone from the DFA, please?
Madam Chair, good morning.
Yes, you recognize USEC.
Yes, thank you. Well, as I speak right now, the Philippines is not a member of the ICC. And the DFA defers to the Department of Justice as the implementing agency when it comes to cooperation on ICC matters. Madam Chair.
Yes, so to the best of your knowledge and in the consideration of the DFA, we are not a member of the ICC.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. And the DOJ having been referred to, may I call on Secretary Remulla, please, to clarify this issue.
We are not members of the ICC, ma'am. So, whatever relationship we have with the ICC is on an arm's length basis if we have to talk to them. But we have never spoken to them.
We
have never spoken to
Secretary, I
them.
didn't hear you. Whatever relationship we have
It's on an arm's length basis, meaning very transparent if ever. But we have never spoken to them.
arm's length.
Yes, ma'am.
So you have had contact even at
No, ma'am.
arm's length?
We do not have any contact. What we're saying is we are very transparent about what we do, and we have never had any contact with the ICC.
So you uphold the statement of the President saying that the ICC has no jurisdiction here in the Philippines. Is that correct?
Ma'am, jurisdiction of the ICC is throughout the world. We belong to a community of nations
Regardless
that
of
is
those
tied
who are
together
state-
by a legal system called international humanitarian law. It is something adopted by more than 150 countries in the world. International humanitarian law, which became a law in 2009 or 2010. And that law, that domestic law, is what we adhere to in this case.
Are you referring to RA 9851?
Yes, ma'am.
Because you indicated the date of 2009. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. So therefore, we are not members of the ICC.
We are not members of the ICC since President Duterte withdrew our membership in 2018, effective 2019.
Okay. That being the position of the DILG, I assume that Secretary Remulla in the DILG also maintains the same.
Yes, ma'am. I defer to the wisdom of the Department of Justice.
And the PNP, General Marbil, please.
Yes, Madam Chair.
Thank you. If that is therefore an unqualified yes, and you are in agreement with the President that the ICC has no jurisdiction whatsoever, what was the DOJ referring to as the ICC's jurisdiction in the Philippines being different from us being a member? What is the distinction, please?
Ma'am, the ICC tries people for individual crimes, not states. So the Philippines, as a state, cannot be called upon by the ICC to do something for them. But when the ICC is running after individuals who are Filipino citizens, then that obligation becomes another kind of obligation.
So that therefore the Senate ratification of the ICC at the time that it was ratified is of no weight. Regardless, you will fall under the jurisdiction of the ICC. Under
Well,
the
for individuals-
so-called international
Yes, madam,
humanitarian- that is your belief, DOJ?
Yes, madam. When there are
Regardless of
individuals
being a party
being
or not
when
being a
there are
party?
individuals being asked by the ICC to explain, it is another matter. As a state is different from an individual. We all know that we have to.
I think that is
the
not the
individuals
question.
being charged by the ICC will have to face the ICC.
I'm perplexed. The DFA made it very clear that as we withdrew, we are no longer a state party to the treaty, and now you're saying that we can nevertheless fall under the ICC, under the generic rubric of international humanitarian law. So it doesn't matter whether you sign or do not sign, whether
Yes,
you
ma'am.
ratify
It
or
doesn't
do not
matter, ma'am.
ratify.
It doesn't
makes
matter.
no difference.
That doesn't make any difference anymore.
Are you certain?
I'm certain.
Okay, Attorney Saret, please, from DFA. Is that the position of the DFA?
Madam Chair, I concur with my USEC, the current acting SFA, that as far as we are concerned, we're no longer members of the ICC.
And as non-members, can we possibly fall under the jurisdiction of the ICC under the rubric of international humanitarian law? Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am, I think, because we, under the...
What's the use of signing or ratifying a treaty if it bears no weight?
I defer, ma'am, to Secretary Remulla.
May
on
I?
this one, ma'am.
I think it's your purview, your DFA.
Yes, ma'am. But yes, ma'am, technically we are no longer a member of the ICC, but we might be obligated under residual jurisdiction as what the Supreme Court in one case already mentioned, that we still have residual jurisdiction. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Yes,
Madam Chair, if I may.
I'm a little bit perplexed given that you are part of the executive. The president has said, as he said for the 100th time, that we are not under the ICC. Why is the SOJ now saying that we are nevertheless, somehow, in some miraculous way, under the rubric of the international humanitarian law, still under its jurisdiction?
Your Honor, it is not the Philippines that is under the jurisdiction. It is the individuals who are charged by the ICC, which is under the jurisdiction. There is a distinction, ma'am.
Please explain.
As non-members of the ICC, and as a state, the ICC has no jurisdiction over us as a country. But over the individuals who may have committed crimes that violate international humanitarian law, that is a universal value being held by the whole world today. That people cannot cross borders and hide behind boundaries so that they can run away from the law. International humanitarian law is something adopted. The principles are adopted by more than 150 countries throughout the world, Your Honor.
Are you of the position, therefore, that international humanitarian law, as you said, is customary law? Is that the consideration?
It is already customary law now. As we speak, it has become customary law throughout the world.
Are you aware that procedural and admin matters do not form part of customary law? Surely the Secretary is well aware that procedural and administrative matters will still have to comply with the laws of the land.
Of course, Madam, this goes without saying.
Okay, thank you. Senator Jinggoy, I think you wanted to interject at this juncture. We recognize the Senator.
Yes, Madam Chair, thank you very much. The DFA, the DOJ, the DILG, and the PNP has already admitted that we are not members of the Philippines is not a member of the ICC. Therefore, why did we surrender a Filipino citizen before the ICC? Anyone can answer, Madam Chair.
We surrendered an individual to the ICC who was a subject of a warrant of arrest. That's what we did.
I did not hear you again.
Mr. Senator, we surrendered an individual to the ICC. We did not surrender as a country, but he was surrendered due to a warrant of arrest issued by the ICC through the Interpol.
Senator Jinggoy, any follow-up questions, please? Thank you. If that's the case, while we've attempted to retrieve Senator Jinggoy, let me just pursue the question of the international humanitarian law being customary law. Since procedural and administrative matters do not fall under customary law, ICC processes, therefore, are not part and parcel.
Madam Chair, the distinction of the ICC process of issuing a warrant of arrest is something accepted through a treaty, the International Police Organization.
You have just contradicted yourself, sir. You said it was customary, and now you're saying it's by treaty.
We can be very technical about it, ma'am.
Sorry.
But we can be very technical about it if you wish to be. But the fact is, it is our accession to the Interpol which made all of this possible.
We will go to the Interpol later. Let us discuss the ICC at this juncture. So, while I will go with you for the sake of argument that the IHL, or International Humanitarian Law, has now become accepted as part of international customary law, I am unable to accept that ICC processes and administrative procedures as well are now part of customary law. I don't think so.
The processes are not part of customary law. We have our own administrative processes. If you ask me about this, Madam, we can say that the IHL is the domestic law that we followed in recognizing the warrant of arrest issued against Rodrigo Roa Duterte.
Which domestic law and process did
Republic Act 9851, Your Honor.
as mentioned previously?
Yes, as mentioned previously, and within the provisions allows us two options, either extradition or surrender. We chose the executive mode, which is surrender.
We will go to that later, but at this juncture, therefore I get an acceptance from the Secretary that in fact the processes that should have prevailed should have been those stipulated under RA 9851 or our own local law.
We follow the process, ma'am.
Thank you. So that's correct. On the same day, if I may proceed, the President also said, I do not see what its jurisdiction is, referring once again to the ICC. Can we bring back the video? I think there is a statement there. I feel that we have in our police and judiciary a good system. We do not need assistance from any outside entity. Again, as part of the executive department, you have subscribed to this view, I assume.
Yes, Madam.
So to clarify, the statement means that the President was not recognizing the jurisdiction of the ICC over the crimes allegedly committed by the former President. Is that correct?
We do not recognize the jurisdiction of the ICC over our country. What we recognize is the jurisdiction of the ICC over individuals who may have violated international humanitarian law by committing murder and other heinous crimes.
If I may, I think the President was referring to the jurisdiction of the ICC over crimes, specifically crimes committed by PRRD. Isn't that so?
Can you rephrase your question, ma'am?
Well, you said that while the ICC has no jurisdiction over the Philippines as a state, it maintains jurisdiction over individuals and crimes under
Yes, ma'am.
the international humanitarian order.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. What the President said is that there is no jurisdiction over the crimes committed by the former President.
Well,
Because we have a functioning police and judiciary system. Unless you submit that we don't.
submit that we don't what, ma'am?
That we don't have a functioning police force.
We have a functioning
or
police
a
force.
Judiciary.
We have a judiciary. But what we are dealing with here
You're
is crimes
contradicting your
committed
President,
14 years
Secretary.
ago to 2019. We're talking about a timeline, Your Honor, that we were not even here yet, and that it was very hard. Ma'am, may I continue?
Yes, carry on.
Well,
yes.
it was very difficult for us. We made our
No, the
commitments.
President made it very clear.
We
have
made our
functioning-
commitments to the United Nations that we would investigate all of these crimes committed during the drug war. And it was not a very easy task, ma'am, because the people that we expect to be cooperating with us were not. So, although we're still doing our investigations on the EJ case, on the extrajudicial killings committed during that time.
Yes, I'm not reviewing the drug war. This is a Foreign Relations Committee hearing.
Yes, ma'am.
But in this statement, the President clearly means jurisdiction over individuals. It's very, very clear. There's no area for quibbling. And if you say there's jurisdiction over individuals, I don't believe that you are in agreement with your president. As a matter of fact, the ICC does not try countries after all. They do try
Our
individuals,
views
however.
evolved during times, at times, and I don't
So you
know
do admit
if
that
he still
you-
has the same view up to today, because we are talking about a clip which was done 1.5 years ago. Our minds can change, ma'am. We cannot just stay in one rut and say that this is the absolute, because our minds may change, and we are allowed that by the law of man and the law of God.
Yes, of course. Of course, we all change our minds, and Mr. Secretary. So you are saying that the president changed his mind?
Well,
When did
I
he
will not,
change
cannot
his
speak
mind?
for him, madam. I cannot speak for him. Your conclusions are really your own, and I cannot adopt your conclusions here.
They're not my conclusions. It's a bold statement, which really.
Well, your
does not-
statements of belief are your own, ma'am. I cannot adapt to your statements of belief, but I respect them.
The statement of the president is very, very clear cut. I would like to show also a letter in December of 2023. Do we have it on hand? Can you enlarge it so that it's much clearer? Okay. On screen is a letter dated 15 December 2023 addressed to Vice President Sara Duterte, where the President says that the jurisdiction of the ICC over the Republic after the effectivity of its withdrawal is very much in question, and I'm certain that all the members will echo my views on the matter. Would you like to comment? Anyone would like to comment on the said letter? Is it correct that if this was in fact a work in progress, as stated by Secretary Remulla, as of 15 December 2023, all the secretaries and undersecretaries already holding such positions at that time also viewed the ICC as having no jurisdiction over the country, as stated by the President himself in the letter?
We did not assist the ICC, ma'am. We continued with the very tenor of the letter, that we did not assist the ICC. We never had contact with them.
We'll
Well,
go
the
there.
investigation that they conducted was through their own methods, and we did not in any way assist them. As said in your letter, we cannot.
It's
We
not
did
my
not.
letter, sir, it's the President's.
It's a president's letter. We did not assist them.
I think that's not the question. My question is simply to say that as of that date, all those in the cabinet were in agreement with the president. Yes, for the 100th time, I do not recognize the jurisdiction of the ICC. The Philippine government will not lift a finger to help any investigation that the ICC conducts. So, at the risk of really belaboring the point, may I confirm is the DOJ, at least as of early last year, was of the stance that ICC had no jurisdiction and the Philippines would not lift a finger, in the words of the President.
ICC never had does not have jurisdiction over the Philippines, Your Honor. And we did not lift a finger to help them at all.
So we affirm that we never at any juncture lifted a finger.
Yes, Your Honor.
Also, I think the Secretary of Justice vehemently asserted the same during that time. May we have the PowerPoint, please? Are these your words, Secretary?
Those are my words.
Right. And there is no jurisdiction, and we have an inherent right to determine our own legal framework and address internal matters.
Yes, Your Honor.
So also there is an assertion that our justice system is robust and functional. Your words, sir.
Yes, Your Honor.
However, 10 days later, after Secretary Remulla gave the above statement, on 20 February, there seems to be a slight yet significant change in the tone of the President's rhetoric when he said, I am not certain if we have the PowerPoint. Do we have a slide with the President? I don't approve or deny it, but you know they, the ICC, haven't done anything illegal. We will do something about it. We are an open country. Maybe clarified as to what the President meant, given that there seems to be a determined change in attitude, that in fact we are an open country. And until they do, they being ICC, do something illegal, wala siyang gagawin para hintuin sila. Parang naiba ang usapin.
I will have to ask what question was asked of the President before I make any response, because I do not know what context the President said those words.
I think it's not unclear. Hanggang may gawin sila na illegal. May I ask the PNP, the DFA, anong ibig sabihin if they do something illegal? Na nanghimasok sila, na may ginawa sila sa Pilipinas.
Maybe I can answer that better, ma'am. An example would be to take an oath of somebody within the Philippine legal system. They are not allowed to do that.
Okay, so until such time as they do something illegal, like requiring an oath of someone being entirely unauthorized as foreigners, is that your meaning?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Does this mean that the Philippine government was allowing the ICC to enter and investigate, provided they did not amount to any illegal action?
Nobody ever identified themselves as the ICC when they entered our country, if ever they entered our country. So we did not allow them, if that is the only meaning of your question, we did not allow them, as we did not know any entry of any ICC person in the country.
The President's statement seems to suggest otherwise. We are an open country. So
yes, ma'am, but we could not.
That there, in fact, were others coming through.
Well, we suppose that people were coming in and out of our borders. We have millions and millions of people entering our ports and airports, and we cannot ask all of them if they are related to the ICC or not. We cannot do that, ma'am.
Okay, perhaps we can call on Secretary Anyo laban kay Presidente PRRD.
At alas 3 nga ng umaga, yun ang pagkakaalam kong yan.
So, hindi...
March 11.
No inkling before, may marites lang. Sabi
marites lang po. Marami hong... ilang taon na po yung sinasabi na may lalabas na warrant of arrest. Ngunit ngayon lang ho talaga lumabas. March 11, alas 3 ng umaga.
So, hanggang sa March 11 ng alas 3, na tulad ng sinabi ni General Marbil, natanggap ninyo nung umaga, ay wala kayo ka-idea.
The only information we got was the words of the former president in Hong Kong.
Sa Hong Kong?
Sa Hong Kong, ma'am.
Na andyan na?
Yes, ma'am.
Siya pang nauna, hindi kayo?
Yes, ma'am.
Nakakatuwa, no? Anyway, hindi ba March 8 pa lamang, marami na ring chismis na magkakaroon ng arrest warrant. In fact, the following day, mismo yung palasyo, Malacanang, sinabi na may mga haka-haka na ganun nga, lalabas na, and the government is prepared for any eventuality. Bakit nasabi yun kung wala pang hawak na notice or kopya? March 8 pa lang to, nagsalita na yung Malacanang. Ibig sabihin, andun na.
Ma'am, the government is prepared for any eventuality at all times. That is the nature of our job. We will always be prepared. We will always be on hand to enforce any of these laws, ma'am.
So it does not mean na yung executive o yung palasyo may nalalaman tungkol sa warrant of arrest?
No one knew, ma'am.
Walang may alam.
I repeat, ma'am, categorically, no one knew until 3 o'clock of March 11.
3 a.m.
Yes, ma'am.
Sa umaga. Nung March 9, ang ating USEC sa PCO sabi, if Interpol hihingi ng assistance galing sa gobyerno, tutulungan. So why was Interpol already being mentioned and being bandied about as early as March 8, March 9, kahit wala pang notice, wala pang red notice, wala miski ano?
Ma'am, maybe in context, sabi ko nga, marami ho naging pagkakataon na tumulong po Interpol sa atin, kaya hindi natin nalilimutan. Isang example po dyan ay yung paghuli po kay Alice Go sa Indonesia, At marami pa ho mga ibang pagkakataon na tumulong po Interpol sa atin.
Ba't alam na ng palasyo that Interpol will be involved if at that time there was no confirmation or receipt of any warrant? Bakit nagsasalita na ang palasyo, nagsasalita na yung PCO, sinasabi na huwag kayo mag-alala, handa tayo sa anumang mangyari, bakit nagre-reassure na ang palasyo?
Ano ho kasi yan?
Parang pinapanagot
ang mekanismo po kasi ng International Tribunal, katulad po ng ICC, ay lumapit po sa Interpol upang ipamahagi o upang iserve ang warrant kasi wala po sila sariling kapulisan ang ICC.
So,
kaya
alam na
umaasa
ninyo,
rin po sila sa Interpol.
Tama. So, ang executive, alam na ninyo na ang Interpol ang gagamitin. Hindi sa wala tayong
ano
alam.
ho yun logical lang po yun. It's logic that Interpol will be the one used as they were the ones used in the past already.
Alam naman natin na gagamitin ng Interpol, pero hindi naman laging Interpol ang ginagamit ng ICC.
Hindi ko po alam yung iba.
Paano natin
ang alam ko lang ho, Interpol talaga.
Ang alam natin, iba-iba, di ba, sa history ng ICC. Kaya nagtataka ako, ba't ang aga-aga, March 8, alam na natin Interpol ang magbibigay ng warrant?
Marahil ho kasi ang Interpol may opisina rin po sila sa sa Paris tsaka sa Hague. Kaya nag-uusap-usap po lahat 'yan. Yung Eurojust, Europol, ICC, ICJ, isang lugar lang po 'yan sa The Hague.
Po, alam natin pero iba-ibang pamamaraan ang ginagamit ng ICC para hulihin, dakipin at mag-serve ng warrant. So, ang sinasabi natin, siguro sina General Marbil, pagkat sila naman ang nakatanggap nito, walang contact or coordination sa ICC or Interpol bago March 11. Bago March 11, yung alas 3 ng umaga, na sinasabi po ninyo, talagang wala kayong ka-idea, walang notice, walang timbre, walang tawag, walang kaalam-alam ang Pilipinas tungkol dito.
Ma'am, can I answer that, ma'am?
Si General Marbil ang tinatanong po.
Okay,
Pwede kayong magdagdag, mamaya.
Ma'am, wala po kaming communication with the ICC except for the PCTs lang po. We rely on the Philippine Center for Transnational Crime.
Teka, so kauna-unahang pagkaalam mo tungkol dito sa warrant mula sa Interpol nung Marso 11, ika-11 ng Marso, tama ba?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Sigurado kayo, ha?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Oo, okay. So, but you just said na it doesn't go to you directly. Sabi mo, dumadaan muna sa transnational crime. Pwede ba natin tanungin ang ating head ng transnational crime? Andito po si Executive Director Alcantara. Kayo ba ang una nakatanggap nitong galing sa Interpol?
Magandang umaga po.
Ibig ko nagsisinungaling ang Interpol?
Hindi po Interpol ang nagsisinungaling. Yung gumawa
pero ang Interpol ang sinasabi ninyo sabi nila dito itong diffusion ng Interpol pagkatapos ng konsultahan sa pamahalaan. Tapos sinasabi pa rito na hugas kamay ang Interpol at hindi pa sila gumagawa ng compliance review. Hindi pa nila naimbestigahan, hindi pa nila napapatunayan itong diffusion. At kung may duda, sabihan na lang sila kasi hindi pa daw nila naaasikaso.
Yan yung sinusunod nilang format, ma'am. Hindi ho lahat na sinasabi dyan ay gano'n na lang po ang katotohanan kasi nag-iingat lang po sila na makatabig sila na mali. Kaya marami ho silang paniguradong mga salita sa kanilang form letter. Form letter po yan
Sasabihin nila na
Nagaya ho niya, no sinabi na
meron silang
pagkatapos makipag-ugnay sa gobyerno ng Republika ng Pilipinas, ang palaisipan ko po, sino ang kausap dito? Dahil hindi naman po kami ang kausap.
Sinasabi ninyo, palusot lang to, hindi to totoo?
Hindi po, yung form letter.
Paano tayo maniniwala sa Interpol
Ayun
nito?
po yung kanilang form letter. Kaya, kung ako, hindi ko alam talaga kung sinong kausap, pero may sinasabi po dyan na meron silang kausap. Pero ako, wala akong kaalaman.
Baka alam ng kapulisan, sino ho ang kausap, baka alam ni Secretary Anyo, ang liwa-liwanag dito, hindi naman ako nagchichismis o naghahaka-haka, ang liwanag nakausap na daw yung gobyerno at sumang-ayon na daw ang gobyerno na arestuhin. Paano ba to? At ito daw ay formal transmittal lamang. Ibig sabihin, nauna yun. Andyan ang liwanag Anybody wish to comment? Secretary Anyo, please. General Marbil, bakit may prior consultation and assent? Bakit sumang-ayon? ng mas maaga.
Well, Madam Chair, I'm not aware of any coordination of that, and I only learned of this diffusion and warrant of arrest in the morning of March 11. So, yun lang.
So, lahat kayo, March 11, 3 a.m. O 3:04. Ito yata dito. Tama naman yun. Pero, Executive Director Alcantara,
Opo.
form letter ba to? Medyo specific to prior consultations with the government of the Philippines. Hindi siya form letter
I cannot
Nakakita na rin
confirm
kami.
or deny,
Nakakita
but
na rin kami ng ganito.
it looks like a form letter.
Form letter?
It
Who have
looks
agreed
like-
to comply?
Oo.
Okay.
It's a genuine letter from the Interpol that came from the
Oo,
Interpol
tama.
system.
Verified naman to.
Opo.
Kaso nga lang, unang-una, diffusion lang siya. No such thing as red notice was ever received.
Ma'am,
Sabi mo, dahil sa kailangan i-expedite. Ikalawa, tinatanggi ninyo na merong prior consultation dito at saka acquiescence or agreement.
Hindi ko po masagot yung prior consultation. Ang masasagot
Wala,
ko po.
nandito lang.
Oo.
Ba't nila isusulat yan kung di totoo? Okay, basahin pa rin natin. Andito tayo, no? Ayan, si Senator Cayetano, maraming nakikita yata Tapos sa page 2, no? Gusto ko lang matignan to, no? Kasi ang liwanag po nito Ang sabi dito, basahin po natin yung page 2, ano? Ayan. The ICC has been mandated to investigate crimes against humanity. Pakitignan na lang po ang sumunod. Sige, itaas pa po yan. Indirect co-perpetrator. So, ibig sabihin, hindi siya principal, indirect pa.
Parang ganun po yung understanding.
Sino yung direct? Saan na yung direct? Ba't hindi inuna? Pangkaraniwan ba to na hinuhuli muna yung indirect kaysa sa direct? Form lettering ba to?
Iba ho kasi yung legal language na ginagamit ng iba't ibang bansa sa kanila hong pagbibigay ng communication.
Tama po. Siyempre, iba-iba yan. At saka translated to in many languages.
Opo.
Pero yung indirect, sa palagay ko, kahit Frances man yan, or High German, Swiss, ganyan pa rin indirect. Hindi siya principal.
Hindi kasi ho, ano nga yung legal system po depende ho sa kanilang pagkasulat ng kanilang mga batas. Kasi kagaya ho sa atin, conspiracy po ang tawag natin dyan, di sa ating bansa. Co-conspirator po ang tawag sa isang taong nag-participate sa isang krimen.
Ito, co-perpetrator.
Yun nga ho yun.
Pero
Marahil yun po yung definition niya ay lumalapit po sa ating definition ng conspiracy sa ating bansa. So yun po yun. Marahil lagay natin sa konteksto na yun po ang kanilang lingwahe sa kanilang batas, sistema ng batas. Iba ho ang lingwahe natin dito.
Naku, kahit i-Frances yan, yung indirect, hindi direct, di po ba?
Ganun din naman sa conspiracy
kaya nga. Kaya nga nagtataka lahat, bakit siya unang hinuli? Bakit siya dinampot bigla? Hindi naman pala siya yung bida. Hindi naman siya yung kontrabida.
Pero sinabi ho na co-perpetrator.
Tama, pero indirect.
Kasabwat. Sinabi ho diyang kasabwat.
Okay. Ngayon, tignan natin. Action to be taken. Locate and arrest with a view to extradition. Assurances are given extradition will be sought upon arrest of the person in conformity with national laws or the applicable bilateral and multilateral treaties. Ibig sabihin, hindi yung kidnapping or yung extraordinary
Hindi po kidnapping. Wala hong nangyaring kidnapping, ma'am.
Pero may extradition, bakit
Hindi, meron ho dalawang option yan
Ang haba ng proseso.
Ang international humanitarian law gives us two options.
Walang nakasulat
There are
dito.
two options under international humanitarian law.
I'm just
the first
talking
option is
about
extradition.
the diffusion.
No, I have to explain the law, ma'am. The international humanitarian law gives us two options: extradition or surrender. And we chose the surrender path, ma'am, not extradition.
So despite the myriad and ironclad commitments to Interpol, hindi tayo sumunod dito sa hinihingi
Hindi ho sila familiar sa system natin.
Ang hinihingi nila, extradition, hindi surrender. Di po ba? Ang liwanag
Hindi, yan po ay kanilang sinasabi kasi yan po ang customary law sa maraming bansa na
Kasasab,
extradition.
kanina sinabi mo,
Hindi, kaya nga,
customary
yun
law, yung procedural at administrative, hindi din
Hindi,
lahat
pero
ng
yun nga ho
yun.
hindi nila alam yung ating batas eh. Hindi ho nila
correct,
alam na
correct.
meron tayong Republic Act 9851 na nagsasabi pwede extradition o pwede surrender.
Teka,
Ang pinili po namin executive action po, surrender po.
Tapusin muna natin yung sentence kasi meron pang karugtong. Extradition will be sought upon arrest of the person in conformity with national laws. Susunod tayo sa 9851.
Yes, yun o, sinunod dyan, 9851.
O, sige.
And hindi extradition ang aming ginamit, kundi surrender.
Eka, meron tayong iko-konsulta, Attorney Alexis Medina, na sumulat ng iba't ibang libro tungkol sa international law at sabi niya, hindi tumbok sa extradition o surrender, hindi sila pareho. Kaya kinakailangan intindihin, eto, na extradition, kaliwa-liwanag sa batas natin. Senator Cayetano, and thereafter we will consult Attorney Medina.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Bunyog, bunyog, halikan na kasama ka. Bunyog, kapag buklod ay may pag-asa. Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, isa ang pananaw. Sa bagong Pilipinas ang bunyog isisigaw. Bunyog.